Hey everybody, Roger here. I hope you're all having a great day. I want to talk to you guys today about the border wall and a lot of the people who are either anti-Trump, never Trumpers, extreme left, leftists, maybe even some on the right, and all in between. There's a lot of people out there who are basically saying, hey, they're looking at this moot point of saying, hey, you know what? So what, even if you get the wall, Mr. Trump, and actually it's not Mr. Trump who's going to get the wall, it's us Americans who are going to get the wall for the most part. But anyways, Mr. Trump, even if you get the wall, you said Mexico was going to pay for it. It doesn't sound like they were going to pay for anything. Well, like I said, to me that's a moot argument. And I'll give you my opinion on Mexico paying for the wall. I personally don't give a shit. If initial construction is supposed to be about 30 billion for it to be at least, up to par or whatever, that's a price that I am okay paying as an American citizen. Now, why don't I care? Why don't I care? Well, I do. Look, if Mexico was to be responsible for paying for the wall, eventually, I'd be great with it. And you know what? Eventually they will, in a way. But it's not Mexico's fault. This is our fault. As Americans, this is our fault. We brought in politicians. We brought in people who are supposed to be enforcing these laws as well, and they're not enforcing them. It's our issue. It's our price to pay. So if we're able to get Mexico to pay for this, that's great. That's icing on the cake. But you know what? Realistically, it is our bill. It is our bill. We've adapted ourselves in this nation to be convinced as a conglomerate citizen, as a conglomerate in America, that it is the norm that Americans do not want to do these jobs, Americans do not want to do that job, and realistically, that probably is kind of true right now, but it never was before. This argument started taking precedence. This little argument saying that we don't want to do shit. Well, NAFTA was part of this argument. The influx of illegal immigration added to this argument as well. Of course, why would Americans on average want to do something that's not going to even help them keep a roof over their heads? You're exporting all of our jobs. NAFTA is responsible alone primarily for a lot of jobs being lost in America, and then illegal immigration on top of that keeps wages down, keeps people achieving the actual American dream down. So we fell for it. We fell for this. We let all the pundits, all the MSM pundits, all the political pundits, all of our enforcement pundits. Yes, there are some in enforcement who we let them convince us, and these supposed smart people that are way smarter than us, and we can't possibly understand why it's so beneficial to have illegal aliens take all of our jobs. We let them convince us as a whole. It's our burden and our price to pay. If Mexico doesn't pay for this wall, I don't give a shit. It's a slap in the face that we need as Americans as a whole, and I'm okay with that. Just so long as once this wall is in place, enforcement measures and laws for immigration and migration, anyways, are abided by. So the path to citizenship, sorry, I'm stuttering here. The path to citizenship needs to be taken seriously. When somebody is a refugee, they need to stay. If they want to seek any sort of asylum, they should be seeking the asylum of the country that's closest to them. Granted, that country is safe for them as well. But Mexico is. You look at Honduras. Mexico definitely should have been considered by them, even though I don't think Honduras is that close to Mexico. It's somewhat close, but I don't think it borders. I can't remember. I'm very bad at my geography down in the Mexican lands there. But overall, we treat amnesty the way it should be treated. If somebody is seeking asylum anyways, if somebody is seeking asylum and they're serious about it, we research it. We don't just let anybody in and come, have a seat. What about the the tent city down in the border, you know, like, let's take that seriously as well. Anybody that tries to come across the border, if they do happen to, you know, while this wall is being built, or even now, keep building up that tent city and have all of these migrants wait there. We don't let them into our country just to get lost and never appear in court. You know, what is it? Less than 2% of people who, of illegal aliens actually show up in court. I believe that was the stat. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe that the number is pretty close to that. So no, you know, we've become very comfortable as American citizens with allowing a lot of people in power to be very lax on our laws, to be very, to tell us how life should be. They work for us. We don't work for them. They need to go, you know, we need to start taking control of things again at this point in the game. The government shutdown, I'm all for it. I really don't care. You know, I don't give a shit that NASA's not getting paid. I don't give a shit that NASA's being held back. I don't give a shit about a lot of the federal workers at this point who understand this rule. Here's the thing. Federal workers understand this rule. If there is a government shutdown, I think there have been 3 or 4 under Trump already. There have been a lot before that as well. They understand this is part of the deal. They understand that when you get the job. Just like I don't fucking understand. Excuse me, I promised myself I wasn't going to cuss in this video. Sorry. I'm trying to cut back. It's not a resolution, but I'm just testing it out. But I don't even understand like this red for ed shit. Don't look at me again. No more promises. Look at this red for ed crap. You know, I don't get that either. When you go for a job interview and they say you're going to get $30,000 or $28,000 a year annually to teach. Well, again, you know, you have 3 months off, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that really equates, if you get a full-time summer job equivalent to that, you could make about 40, 50,000-ish, I believe. You could, potentially. That's good. That's regardless if that's good money or not to the individual that's a teacher who's fighting for red for ed. You were the one responsible for saying yes or no. You could have challenged that wage if you wanted to. You didn't have to just accept it point blank. Oh yes, I'll take that job. I'll take that money. I've been there. I've done that. Guess what? I take responsibility for the low wage jobs that I got, that I never got the raises on, and you know, I take all that responsibility for myself. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm so upset about this. You know, I'm in the tech field and I should be getting paid a lot more. So let's go and revolt and demand more money. No, you made that choice. You made that choice to get that job. Well, I think in Arizona, what is it? With Red for Ed, anyways, they were promised about 10% within the following year, I guess, a raise increase. I can't remember, 10 or 20%. But I mean, that comes out of taxpayer, locally. That comes out of Arizona taxpayer. I might be getting some of this wrong, so I apologize. But from what I understand, the city would, each district or something would have to, their taxpayers would have to make up the difference for the salary increases that these teachers are requesting. So again, people, you might think that this is actually a good thing, but it's not. The individual is responsible for themselves. Granted, yes, let's all work together and try to make things better and whatnot. And yeah, I guess I can see the Red for Ed kind of doing that, but you know what? You need a little bit more willpower. You need a little bit more willpower and say, no, I'm not going to settle for that. You know, start me off at like 38 at least. Start me off at 38. And then you'll be happy that you have me as an employee. Again, you know, I look back in a lot of my interviews and I'm like, I wish I would have been that demanding initially, and I wasn't, and I missed out. So, but that's a personal life lesson. I'm not going to put that on the taxpayer. I'm not going to put that on everybody else because I didn't know how to fucking negotiate a salary. That's a me thing. So, anyways, going back to this wall, going back to the government shutdown, I really don't give a shit about it. Yes, the libertarian in me is very happy about this. The fiscal conservative is very happy about this. And yeah. But here's the other thing. Again, it goes back to this. We let ourselves get to this point. It's not Mexico's fault. It's not Honduras' fault. It's not China's fault. It's not anybody else's fault with a flood of migrants in here. Look, here's the thing. Everybody thinks, oh, this is so racist. If Mexico is full of 100% elvish white people from folklore, from Lord of the Rings, and Legolas was their leader. As white as those people are, I would still want the border wall. I think that's how everybody looks at the border wall. We don't give a shit if it's Mexicans or whatever down there. I'm Mexican, so I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm for Americans first. And yes, let's give... Look, here's the thing. Everybody says, oh, well, that's selfish. Well, look at it this way as well. This is the way I come across when this is the way that I look at Mexico. I'm just going to take Mexico. I know it's a lot of other countries, but I'm going to say Mexico for my example. It does more harm to them when we allow people to come here. Look, the majority of our money that they make is going back home, back to Mexico. What does that mean? Doesn't that mean that if Mexicans are bringing in money, does Mexico really need to supply social services for the most part to their citizens? Probably not. Probably not. Now we have this. That is just one thing. That is just one issue. But it's not good. It's not good overall to take Mexicans or anybody from other countries, bring them to America, bring our wages down as American citizens so that they can have also low wages that hurt their country when they take their money, when they ship their money back over Western Union or whatever they do, back over to Mexico, and it hurts their economy as well. I mean, they're not becoming self-sufficient. That's what we want. That's what should happen. Even if people really love Jesus, Jesus also wants people, yes, he wants us to help each other, but helping is not giving. Helping is helping by saying, hey, you know, this is what's going on here. We're going to fix this for you. As far as like putting up the wall, you can go back over there. Yeah, let's be neighborly and you know, is there anything as a country that we can do to help you out in your country? You know, partnerships or whatnot. Again, the new Canada, Mexico, North American agreement here is another good step. But I mean, there's all these things that could happen in that way, not by just giving people who come here illegally, taking our resources. That's not help. I don't think Jesus would approve either. I think Jesus would approve us. He wants us to live a long time. He doesn't just want people to just milk off of a system. He wants people to work for a living. He also wants people to not be taken advantage of by corporations, by businesses, by farms, desperate farms. Yes, there are desperate farms out there who take advantage of cheap labor. And then by the time these illegal immigrants get old, they don't have health care, so they're going to abuse the healthcare system. They're going to go admitted into a what do you call it? An emergency room scenario, or I don't know what you call those corner block quick. I've never been to one, but these quick corner emergency room things, whatever. I don't know what they're called. But anyways, that's one group benefiting from the work of another who is trying to still, like me. The other is me and families and Americans like myself who are trying to do our best for our families, for our bills, for our lives, and trying to get ourselves ahead. It doesn't do good when somebody's mooching. It just does not. So I'm for that wall. Put that wall up. Keep going, Trump, with this face-off against the Democrats and the government shutdown. Keep it up. Keep it up. Do not give up. This is going to be a defining moment here. And the blame is all on the Democrats. They think we're the ones that are assholes. Look at my example that I just gave. They're the ones that are assholes. They're not letting these people flourish emotionally, spiritually, and grow as individuals to be self-sufficient. They're not. They're allowing them to take advantage of a system. And fuck, they don't even go to their neighborhoods. I mean, every time I go to like a ghetto big box store, you know, we always see all the refugees around here, and nobody speaks English. But you never see that in like the high town parts of Scottsdale, in the nice places. You don't see them there. You don't see these illegal immigrants or refugees or anything staying in the nice parts of town. You don't. So again, it affects us. It doesn't affect you millionaires. It affects us. You guys actually bank more off of it because you get to hire people for cheap. If you have small businesses here and there, or even medium to big size businesses, you can get cheap labor and save more money. Again, do people not realize this? Do people not realize this? So I'm 100% for this wall. Build it, and we'll go from there. Anyways, just a little bit of a rant here today. What are you guys' thoughts? Am I being racist? Like a lot of people would say, I'm being racist against my Mexican culture. I'm not. It hurts to see that we're thought of, that, or Mexicans in general are thought of, that they have to scrub, and be pandering and begging for money and assistance and handouts. I don't want that to be a legacy of the Mexican people. I don't. I'm a hard worker. A lot of Mexicans are, even the ones that come here illegally. But the handouts are still there. And the freeloading is still there. Yeah, some of them have to work for some of this, but then there's others who've been on welfare for 20 plus years. It's a lot of different things, plus the criminality of it all, plus the drug, the trafficking, the drug trades, the child trafficking, the women trafficking. It's all a big fucking mess that a wall can fix. It will fix it. At least 90+%. That's all I got for this. If you have any feedback or want to add or add to this, please leave a comment below. Like, hate, subscribe, unsubscribe, share. I love it all. Love you guys. Peace out.